It's time to get Amsterdammed. Mystery and Beckster teaching cold approach pickup July 17, 18, 19. That's next week. Come join us. You have now been teleported to Amsterdam. That's right, we are at a coffee shop, if you know what I mean, here in Amsterdam. Mystery here, and...
Beckster.
And also my girlfriend Hillary.
Hi.
We are now sitting at a cafe and just chilling. Amsterdam. Cold approach pickup. That's what we're talking about today. Correct? Oh, here come our coffees. Thank you.
€5.20.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
This round. Thank you. Our lattes are here.
And now the real podcast can commence. Now we have our fix of caffeine.
Now we're at the other part of the coffee shop.
Yeah. There you go, thank you.
Lovely.
Cheers.
Thank you. Right, so now we have our coffees. I have a beautiful girl on my arm. For real, right there. Thank you. Thank you very much. I felt naked without it. So what happened yesterday was a single cold approach pickup. Very beautiful girl, I had noticed, walking quickly and dressed, I would say, posh / elegant.
Yeah, heels,
Designer heels.
blonde flowing hair.
Your type,
Yeah.
right?
Power walking down the street.
And it did take us...
Wearing faux leather and spikes.
Right. But it works for me. Look at my big ass boots. I'm 3 inches taller because of them. Right, so she walked around the corner. When I first saw her, she was walking quickly. And I said, well, there's one.
Yeah.
And we had been gaming for the last 4 days. Right, Hillary? 4 days or 5 days? 4 days.
4 days.
And so it took that long to find a woman of that caliber.
Yeah, one
For
that I
day-
actually liked.
For day game,
Yeah.
right? Day game, it's harder to find, a woman that titillates.
They're not
you.
all pushed into one room.
Right.
They're higgledy-piggledy all over the land.
And so you don't necessarily have to be in the right state in order to approach, though. Is that correct?
I was probably in the worst
Why?
state,
Why?
vibe, a very long-term relationship that I had a while back. Ended, and recently found out that person is now engaged, which was a bit of a stab to the heart, as it were, because,
Even though it ended, it still
Yeah.
hurts. It's still...
you're not going to see that person again. You hit grieving mode, I
Right.
suppose. Yeah?
So you were definitely, at that moment, not ready to go in. In fact, and this is very rare, but it did occur,
Yeah, it's rare for that.
is where, I bumped him with my elbow and said, hey, look at that. And he was like, nah. It was just one of those...
And you were shocked. You were like,
Nah.
"Oh."
No, it's not that I was shocked, because it's day game, right?
Yeah.
It's like, and we had food in our hands.
Yeah.
We were busy. We were about to sit down by the canal and enjoy the nice hot piping meal we had procured. You switched from, nah, I'm not working the set, to, fuck it, I'm working the set. and you switched in 2 seconds. To me, that was like years of training of your past. One of the things that you have to do is meet the universe halfway. It presents an opportunity and you meet it halfway. It's a lot like having keys thrown at your face. Someone throws the keys at, here, catch. Do you catch them? Do you actually reach up and pick the keys out of the sky? Or do you wait for it to just smash in your face and you get a bleeding lip? Right? It's not even a decision because they're already thrown at you. The universe has decided to throw something at you, and either you're going to catch it or let it slip. Word to your mom.
Yeah,
what was it that made you switch in 2 seconds, 1.8 seconds? Because you said no, right? And I knew no was no because as a pro PUA, you go in field. There's enough sets to do that. If you're trying to get from A to B on the streets, you don't have to open every set.
Well,
but what made you do it?
Well, basically, I literally just got the news. We were waiting for our food to come to take away. I told Mystery that I just got this message come through, and it was like literally a stab to the heart. And we grabbed our food.
Understood.
We're walking to a canal. I'm like, I need to find someone as good as this.
Yeah. Recover soldier.
Like, there isn't anyone that I can see that I've seen since we've been here and so on.
That can match.
Yeah, and
your caliber.
Yeah, exactly.
Your quality.
And a bona fide, if we were going to rate people, 10. Well, my state was basically the worst it's ever been. And we've just ordered food. I've got half a mouthful of noodles and pork in my mouth. We're sitting by the canal. We're all getting ready to get cozy. I've got a drink in the other hand as well. But then there was a switch in my mind that I gave myself permission to open it. And my positive thought that I overrided my negative thought of doing it, or my procrastination of doing it, was that's just happened to me. I've just asked the universe for something that's as good as quality or better.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm fucked in my mental state for a while.
Yeah.
For who knows how long? Weeks, months.
But then the universe responds.
It responded.
Metaphorically speaking,
it responded very quickly. It responded in about 3 to 4 minutes of me asking.
Right?
Indirectly asking it.
Fair.
Because it's still listening.
So there she is. She's walking down the street, thereby walking away from you, right? Hillary and I stopped walking. We stood by the canal there, perfect place where we were about to sit down to eat. And that was your set. We weren't going to enter into it. I mean, we'd be running with you as well, right? So you just did a lone wolf set.
Yeah,
It was about, I guess, 80 feet,
Yeah.
right? 80, 100 feet, somewhere around there, where you finally caught up to her.
She had a momentary pause, which I utilised and quickly just came side on.
Right, and the reason why she slowed down and stopped there for a sec was because she actually got to her destination. She was
Yeah,
looking
her
for
destination
keys or
was there,
something,
yeah.
and was going to then walk up the steps and into one of these Amsterdam stone buildings.
I believe it looked like she was going to a modelling contract, and she was getting out her letter of information of, oh yeah, I've got an interview here, or whatever it was. She was fumbling about, getting ready, just to walk in and be, the
so
model.
if you were a few seconds later, sincerely, like
She'd
I
have
was
gone.
there, I saw you would have missed the opportunity to have that isolated moment with her by the steps.
Yep.
And you locked in. You leaned against the railing. Very casual. It was so casual, just about 3 minutes in.
Yeah.
Right? But maybe I'm jumping the gun. There she is. You're right. You're going in. She stopped moving. She's in front of the stairs. You turn.
Looking in her bag, which immediately my first thought was, oh no, you stop someone while they're looking in their bag. It might feel uncomfortable, like people are worried, their bag's open.
Their bag is now
It's like when
open.
you try and open a girl at the bar and she's just about to pay for drinks by putting her card number in or
Right.
something, and that's always the wrong time.
That scenario, in fact, is where I break the 3-second rule.
Well, I was just like, okay, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And then I put my food down and went.
And because of the distance, what were you thinking on the way there?
Yeah,
'Cause you had a
because
lot of time to.
I
And you're
had-
thinking, what's my opener?
I had
Or what?
about 8 seconds of walking, which in like.
You could have talked yourself
Out
out
of
of it
it.
because of that additional
So
distance.
what I was doing was talking myself into it the whole distance. I was saying stuff like, the first thought was obviously the universe provides, and this you've just given me the gift to do it.
Right.
The next thing was I haven't seen a person like this for a while. My next thought was, hey, this is my job, this is my life, this is my passion.
Hey, did you also have a glimmer of, God damn it, why couldn't I have met her in an environment the night before where you had all that pre-selection all around you, right? A jealousy plotline, but you didn't meet her in a club environment. In
No.
fact, I'd go as far as saying I don't think I'd see her in a regular club environment. You'd see her perhaps at a cocktail party.
Yeah.
But
Well-
this was a cold approach street pickup, literally on the street, sun shining, daytime, 3 p.m., right?
Yeah, about 3 p.m., yeah.
3 p.m., we ate early. What's going through
As
your
I'm
mind?
walking towards her.
Right as
So-
it's about to
So
occur.
I'm power walking towards her, but I'm not trying to make too much noise because obviously you don't want to scare anyone, but I have to catch up in time because I see that she's slowing down to get something out of the bag. and
Right, so
I'm
it's
thinking
now or
that
never.
she's hit her destination. And
Hey,
that's-
have a sip of this coffee. Cheers to Amsterdam, brother. Good times.
So
That was a kiss before my coffee, not after.
to Hillary, I might add.
What was all that 1 in a million talk?
Well, the 7 billion, so that's a lot of people still.
So I have a chance.
So I have a chance.
All
So-
right, back to the scene. Although the scene right now that you're joining us in is lovely. The sun came out. The environment here, we are at a place called the Bulldog. It is a pretty damn awesome environment. It's an outdoorsy area, and there's several pubs, bars, cafes,
It's like a little square.
restaurants, and people. There are people here everywhere, and everyone seems cool here. You know what I mean? Everyone seems quite relaxed.
Everyone's
and-
got time to talk.
That's right. If there is no smile on a person, it isn't for long. They will interact with someone, and you'll see the smiles pop up. You have got to, someday in your life, come to Amsterdam. Perhaps it would be boring if you didn't know game. You know?
Yeah, oh yeah, hell yeah.
It would be.
'Cause-
In fact, you'd be filled with envy because there's so much beauty. Here's a two-set guy and a girl walking past. Cute girl, blonde.
Yeah.
And how did he get her? You know? Makes you think. How did he get her? Because they're obviously together. You can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell by his body language.
But they
he just
look-
doesn't give a shit. You know?
Yeah.
So natural.
Scratching his
Normal.
ass.
Right, so that's the situation we're in right now. We're in Amsterdam. It is beautiful here, but we're just people watching. Now let's zoom back to Amsterdam yesterday around 3 o'clock. Your body blocking was such that she was facing towards us.
Yeah. Because I locked her in. Because I locked in so that she'd have to turn away from the direction she was walking and face the direction she came from.
Right, so you
I spinned her.
A sp-
180.
You spin her
A
180,
180 lock in.
stop her. Fair, very fair. But again, we're getting ahead of ourselves. That's
true.
3 minutes in.
That's true.
So she's fumbling inside of her purse. And you say,
I said, I've only got a moment. I'm just
12
with my
seconds.
friends over there. So I misdirected and pointed back at my friends.
at which point I believe she would have seen Hillary.
Yes.
Because Hillary was wearing sunglasses, so hey, she can get away with it.
Because I wanted to build a slight bit of social proof. Mm-hmm. So I'm not just, going up to her willy-nilly.
Work with what you got.
Yeah,
Work with what you got
Yeah,
in the now.
if you've got extras to add on, use them. And my extras were you two.
Fair.
So I was just like,
glad we could
and
help.
that's Hillary over there. That's Eric, my friend over there. Really cool.
Naming them
Yep.
makes them real, makes you value your own friends.
Yep.
And that's a DHV that keeps the girl around for another 3 to 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay?
And I said they're really cool. We're just here in Amsterdam at the moment, and we just thought when we saw you walk by, you had the best shoes we'd seen all week
Fair, and she...
because she
yeah.
was wearing awesome shoes. And
Jimmy
she,
Choos.
Yeah, and she was like, "Oh, thank you," and big smile, looking at me. And then she took the time to look down and up at my body to see what I was wearing.
Okay, fair.
And luckily I was dressed quite okay. You know,
Interesting that it allows them
to have a
to
look.
look you up and down,
Yeah.
and
Which
put
I want.
Which you want them to look up and down, but give them a context, give them a.
I find that women that's such a big hook point when you talk about shoes. It's a massive hook point to a woman. And
Hair and shoes.
yeah, well, I talk about all things that are featured with women, like shoes, hair, makeup, underwear, smell.
Now, from a man's perspective, when you see women talking about, hair and shoes, do you know from a woman's perspective how important hair and shoes are? Think of this. If this beautiful woman weren't wearing those shoes, right?
Yeah.
Walking that way in that moment, she may not have caught my eye.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. The heels
The
definitely
heels
striking.
did it. And Hillary, sitting next to me right now, has cut her hair in a bold cut. It's shoulder length. It's that tapered shoulder length. It makes you look like a robot. You look,
my God.
it's the avatar. Your avatar is just so concise. It is.
Fembot before
You are. That's right.
Fembot, yeah.
That's what I meant. I meant a fembot. I wasn't trying to objectify you that much, but yeah, you look like a sex bot. Okay, is that
Sex
where we're
fembot.
going? A sex fembot right now. Right. So
SFB.
the difference between a woman getting a man and not getting a man may be that day
The heels.
her haircut.
Or the hair, yeah.
Right? A haircut's important. It could be the difference between attracting a man, on first glance, to at least entice him to want to say hello. Is there more to you than meets the eye? Right?
Yeah.
And shoes. So when you hear women talking about hair and shoes, just know that they're talking about some important stuff. There's, it's potentially life-changing minutia.
I think it certainly is for everyone I've been out with, because the shoes, if they're not wearing the right shoes, I'm not interested. That makes sense?
Yep.
You have not peacocked me.
Right.
Or peahened, but peacock obviously, but you have not like that. I home in on that, and I know I've got a million things to say on it.
You have a penchant for feminine women.
Yeah.
I
I have a criteria that I follow, not just looks. I have a criteria.
Of course you
And if they don't fit that criteria, I'm not approaching. Obviously, some criteria I need to find out in set by actually speaking to them. But
See,
I work that all into my... it's not just me gaming her, it's giving her the opportunity to game me back with her replies.
We're zooming right now into the mind of Beckster. One particular set in your memory.
Yeah.
You've now initiated the conversation with this very attractive model, literally model, now that we know, model-like woman who's turned to face you. You've initiated the conversation. She's looked you up and down. What happens next?
So, from that scenario, I've mentioned the shoes, so on. She looks me up and down. I move forward. I said, "Listen, we've just moved into town, and we're meeting people. We're loving Amsterdam." And then she then says, "Ah, you're from London. I was living in London."
Can we pause right there?
Yeah.
So, living in London is immediately a commonality.
We hit a
Conversational thread.
commonality that she picked up on. She initiated it.
Fair enough. And so that means she's gaming you instantly.
There's an
That's
IOI.
what that is.
There's
That's
an
an
IOI.
IOI. And you conveyed your current emotional state of being already in a pleasant mood, even though you hadn't been.
I hadn't
right?
been
You
at all.
hadn't been, but you were able to convey to her a current emotional state of I'm in a pleasant mood, because that's instantly non-threatening and attractive.
Well, I have two ways of looking at it as well. One is, apart from obviously the universe providing and so on, some people, you wake up and the AA's back a little bit every day, but you just get on with it, and then it's gone again, right? And it gets better the more you go through time because you do it so much, but it's still always a little bit there, right?
It's always there.
Yeah. But I have a theory that I love being in set with a beautiful woman.
I've watched you over the last several days, every single night. We are found within large groups by the end of the night, right?
Yeah.
It's just what happens.
Yeah.
I have seen you in the middle of a 2-set, beautiful girls on every night, every single night. But there's this moment where I'm nudging one of the students to point out the fact that you are most at your center in this universe. The most safest, most comfortable place for you is not like it is for some people, alone in a bed, door locked, I'm safe, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people find that to be their safe spot on earth.
Yeah.
For you, I feel, the safe spot is in a set filled with women. They're smiling, they're laughing. You've broken not just broken the ice, but you've broken the lake. You've melted the lake. You've turned it to summer, right? That's the gift. That's the gift that you have developed. That's the gift you've been given, and then you took it and developed it into this skill set where you sincerely, I'm watching it from a distance. It's incredible how happy, how much vibing and fun you create it, and you're most centered in that. Some people shy away from that moment. They're like they try to get the girl's phone number just so they can get away. Because the discomfort of being around beauty is too threatening to their fucking manhood, because they feel like, why am I so scared from a woman? I gotta just go to the washroom and compose myself, right? You don't do that. You find yourself, boom, at home most on earth when you're in set. Come to Amsterdam, come while it's warm. I would say it's because, look at this, it's summer now and everyone's out.
And I would say Amsterdam really centers you.
The 4-set walk by,
great
2
set.
beautiful girls, cool styles, yeah.
And 2 average.
But you need game. You need game, because otherwise you
Hillary laughs.
won't open these sets.
Hillary laughs at that comment.
Oh, what was this?
You went 2 beautiful. There's a 4-set coming, 2 beautiful girls, and I went 2 average ones as well.
2 average ones, right behind them. They only looked average because the other 2 looked
Yeah, it was
that
stunning.
hot. Yeah, it's a comparison thing. Excuse us while we make out.
I'm going to revert my eyes. That's not a tongue.
But you have that ability of making them laugh hysterically.
Yeah.
It's hysteric laughter. I mean, we laugh hysterically.
It's cackling.
It's
Yeah.
cackling. Where they don't
And
care
which
how
is-
they look anymore.
Which is instant rapport, I find. Because it's not a fake laugh. When they're
Right.
giggling and cackling, it's real. It's from the the belly and
from
the heart.
the belly.
So
Very fair.
there's rapport that they trust you.
Okay, well, so we're gonna put that one model on pause, and we're gonna zoom back a few more
It's
days
funny you should say
into
that.
the boot camp.
It's funny that you say that, this girl, about being an ex-girlfriend. You were with me when I got the last one that's not in the picture anymore.
That's right.
We were in a strip club, and
I actually pointed that one out.
yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
So
And we
I
were training
pointed
trainers
I
on
pointed
that.
this one out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Hey,
You pick them well.
right?
That's what I say.
Right? That's
You
all I'm
pick them
saying.
well.
That's all I'm saying. Okay, so we're going to go back. I think it was 3 days ago that Hillary was being utilized in field as a wing woman, or what we would call a pivot.
Yes,
Right?
the pivot, old school word. I love the old
very
school
old
word.
school
There's
word-
no school
word.
like the old school.
By a lovely demented man named, I say that lovingly, Ray Gordon from the old ASF days,
Yeah.
Alt Seduction Fast.
Yeah.
And that was the one word that he brought into the community, is the word pivot.
Yeah.
It's a girl you are not having sex with and are friends with. Some people would think you're going to blow yourself out by having a woman with you. It's like, oh, you might be a couple.
No.
That's what some people think, though.
That's crazy to think that. I mean,
I agree.
yeah.
I'm just bringing up what I
Yeah.
have
Oh, I
noted.
know you know.
Some people think that doesn't work. Why
Well,
is this counterintuitive?
there's-
Why does it work?
There's a few.
Amazing.
a few reasons just off the top of my head, without getting too deep on it. What we can one is jealousy is the strongest emotion. Apparently, it's even stronger than love. So
It's the indicator of love.
yeah, well there you go.
She doesn't know
No,
she's
that's what I was gonna
attracted.
say. She doesn't know she's attractive until
She's surprised.
she's
By
jealous of
sense-
you talking to another girl.
a sense of jealousy, a sense of fear of loss of whatever she's invested in you. How long does it take to go from her just being envious, right, that you're talking to another girl,
Yeah.
to her being actually jealous that you're talking to another girl? See, there's a distinction there.
Yeah.
Envy doesn't
But
change anything. Doesn't make her, it's a DHV, but it doesn't make her act in a reactive manner, right?
And-
that jealousy does.
And now she's thinking, oh, I need to win this man. I need to get this man, win him off the other girls. So now she's going to be trying to gain rapport, sexuality with you, turn you on.
Be super nice to the opponent.
Yeah, you'll find them being nice to it, which means they hate the opponent.
Yeah, actually, it's really too bloody blatant. They say, "Oh, you're so pretty. Oh, you're so pretty too," which is just a nice way to say, "Yeah, I got your number. I see you. I know where you're at with this guy." They're looking right.
Oh, when girls call other girls pretty.
Right.
Oh, that's so fake.
It's so fake
The
and-
amount of girls who said that to me, and I'm not saying they weren't being genuine, but it's just, I just don't believe them when they're saying it. Like, there's some sort of agenda there.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, we're privy to that. We know that.
No,
We know when
because-
girls are
because
being reactive.
I know that, in my past I've had girls say that to me and then they screw me over in some way later on. But
Right,
they
and
almost
that's
think
when
that
you
by
know
giving you a compliment on
retroactively
your physical
that
appearance that
they were being two-faced, yeah.
I can see through that.
And you got to. I mean,
But it's
if
good
I
because-
zoom back in time,
Because it gives you more, forgive me, it just gives you more maneuverability when you're in set and you bring another person in. Like, let's say it's a two-set of girls.
Yeah.
If you go in by yourself, you're running a two-set. You
Yeah.
can never isolate in a two-set.
Yeah.
But if you come in with a girl on your arm from a previous set or your buddy's girl, you occupy her mind as well. She has fun in there as well. But what you're doing is you're converting a two-set to a three-set, and therefore you can throw your wing woman onto one to occupy better than throwing a guy on the obstacle,
Yeah.
right, in the two-set. And and then you can isolate your target.
Yeah,
Right?
totally.
Is that what you were doing?
Within which set?
Well,
with
we're
Hillary,
going back
yeah.
a few days ago,
Well, that's a
and you
few.
used her in several sets. So what
Yeah.
are the advantages?
So, all right, so the one,
Why did you want to do it?
so the one I remember in particular is the first night of boot camp.
3 days ago, right?
3 days ago. We left the clubs, and all the clubs are around a grassy square, which is Rembrandt Square, it's called in Amsterdam.
Google Earth it.
Yeah, Google Earth it.
Know
Have a look
where
where we
you're
was.
going.
Look at the grass there. That's where we were sitting. With we've got pictures on that.
Especially in pickup, there's so much knowledge. Just some people don't know that there is a knowledge base that's been codified. We've translated a lot of what happens in real-world social dynamics into codified, readable, and searchable through keywords information. So take that upon yourself as a pickup artist. I'm sorry to cut you off on this, but this is important.
Yeah, go for it.
Go ahead, Google Earth Rembrandt Square in Amsterdam. Do a 3D flyover because we're having a conversation nearby there.
Yeah.
If you'd like, you can even Google Earth the Bulldog.
Yep.
Bulldog Cafe. That's where we're at right this very moment. That's where you are spiritually centered as well. You might as well do a 3D flyover. You will also find, curiously, all of us, Beckster, Mystery, and Hillary, on Google Earth Street View,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because we saw them go by. So try to find us. That's my challenge to you. And if you do find us, please send us the Street View bookmark to torontomystery@gmail.com. Seriously, I would very much enjoy
I think I
seeing
took
us.
a picture of the streets because we got caught twice with it. We were talking
Fair
about
enough. Somewhere walk
Google,
downtown
Google
Toronto.
Earth, and it just appeared.
Downtown Amsterdam, rather. It's getting noisy here. It's getting vibrant. Fun stuff. Vibrancy is happening in Amsterdam. Lots of sets to be open. if you're in a group of men going from corner to corner, hitting them up, you can do that. It's a good energy, a synergy of us all taking turns. Fair. Okay, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
We're
it's
going to zoom
fine.
back to 3 days ago.
I would say maybe we walk and talk to the next cafe because
Our coffees are gone.
Our
Fair
coffees
enough.
are gone. Bit of music going on here that might drown us out, and we want to check a new location out. Well, one thing that you mentioned, which is I think is really important, while we were talking the other day on boot camp, you mentioned a current emotional state opener, and I think people might get a bit lost in what you mean by that.
In the first second that a person turns and faces you, the new person, they are going to judge what your current emotional state is, whether you're pissed off, right?
Yeah.
Or bored, or overexcited, or nervous, right?
Yep.
Or, and this is the one I think everyone should be, happy. I mean, actually demonstrating that you are in a happy mood, right on that open, just being happy. So in the first few seconds, I want to convey that the reason why I'm not needing anything from you guys is because I am satisfied. I'm fine. I don't need shit from anyone, right?
You're not qualifying to them.
I'm just conveying that I'm happy. So a good opener to me is where you stretch your arms out big over the whole group and say, smiling, bubble of love. Right?
Yep.
This is a bubble of love. And just smile and enjoy it. And then roll off just a bit, lean back, go onto your back foot, almost like you're placing it there.
Yeah.
Bubble of love, step a little back, and it's been placed. That's my frame. That's the frame I've set up. And most people will agree. They'll smile.
Yeah.
It's a good moment.
They want in on that. It feels like they want in on it, so they'll talk about it more, or just convey the right body language to say they're in on it.
They will accept your presence much more readily by doing it that way than by being neutral-faced. Because if you have a neutral face when you go in, you don't want to be smiling because you're not in a smiley mood, that's a bit of a problem because our emotional circuitry sides on caution, It triggers prematurely. Neutral could be angry. We can't tell. I can't tell if that person's face is, being driven by anger to be neutral.
Yeah.
Or out of complacency. I can't tell, right? But a big-ass smile, that I can tell, right?
Yeah.
So now it's non-threatening. Now it may even be, dare I say it, attractive. It may actually look like I'm hotter, if that's possible. Girls, you look at their face and the smiling face is just so much more attractive. Just a smiling face shines in comparison to the neutral face. By the way, all the beautiful girls on the bicycles here have neutral faces because they have to. They are so in tune with not getting killed.
Because it is there's too many variables of things that can run you over.
That's
Trams,
right.
cars, bikes,
other bikes.
and stoned people.
Yeah.
That's a good point that you said. That's a good point that you said. That basically, until you chat to somebody, they might have as what is called a resting bitch face.
A resting bitch face, yes.
So it's not their fault.
Hi,
that
Hillary.
It's just my face. I can't do anything about my face.
So as you don't know what current emotional state they're in until you talk to them, and then the smile appears, or you invoke the smile, whatever.
Fair.
But it doesn't mean they're actually a bitch or in a bitchy mood or feeling bad. They could probably feel so happy at that moment, but their resting face is bitchy. So might as well find out. You'll know in seconds. So that's my thought on that.
Well, the idea of eliciting an emotion,
Yeah.
putting them in a good mood if they're not, that's something you do.
Yeah.
You know, if you didn't go into those sets, they would have been bored, right? But by
Yeah.
your going into those sets, we almost got run over by
Bicycles.
six.
Hot girl on a bike.
Yeah, hot girl on the bike, 6
That's one way to open.
bicycles.
You're go flying over, handle the bars forward.
One way to open, we throw Hillary in the spokes. Have you met Hillary?
Oh, I didn't see that gate
See,
thing.
she
You would have
needs-
actually thrown.
So now Hillary has reacted,
And
as
try-
every action has a reaction,
You
with,
you throw the neg,
yeah,
and her reaction
Throw you into
was,
the bushes.
a playful push, which nearly caused me to fall in the canal, Hillary. The canal! Take the sea off and I'm happy. Anal.
all
push
you
me
hear, all
in
you
the
hear is a
anal.
splash. All you hear is a splash, like right after.
But yeah, so you can force the reaction like that as well.
By the way, we're still walking and talking here in Amsterdam, cobblestones, and we have forfeited the getting coffee in the park there
Yep.
for no other reason than we already did that. We stood there, we enjoyed that moment. Again, lots of sets to approach if this were boot camp. You guys would really enjoy interacting with those sit-down groups on
Yeah.
the grass there.
Well, I've noticed that anyone...
But we're heading back into the city
the
area
hustle
now.
and bustle.
We're back.
fun.
We're headed back to the bustle. But
Yeah.
again, that park is a yes for perhaps the daytime one of those 3 days.
Well, what I've noticed in Amsterdam is at any
gotta be
point
done.
I look at an area, there are at least 2 to 5 sets at any point I look. So there's always more sets than you could possibly open. And what postcard are we looking at now? Super boobs.
But you need to be in that
That is horrifying.
state of I'm ready to open that set. I see the set, I'm opening it. And if you open with the current emotional state opener,
Yeah.
such as nothing can wreck this day, and that's your opener, it works really well. It's something that you should consider tonight when you go out. We are celebrating like the end of Ocean's 11. Nothing can wreck this day. Good opener.
Yeah, I like using that one.
I'd like to credit right now current emotional state concepts by Matador. Very bright man. See, Matador's big and strong and has, superhero muscles. And that can be threatening, right? Just the fact that he's that big,
Yeah.
it's both attractive to a woman and threatening to a woman.
Yeah.
So his current emotional state upon the opener has to be like a celebrity, right? He's like captivating like a celebrity, because if he doesn't smile, then you don't know. What if he's in a bad mood? He could, punch you through a car. Iron Man style, right? So that current emotional state on the open, if you're a man, you're not going to want to threaten her just by your manhood. So open with a smile, open, dare I say it, blissful. Go crazy with that current emotional state of non-neediness. Act drunk. Or you're in Amsterdam. Act high. That roots your state, eh? Because people will wonder, why is this guy so happy? Well, just being out could be reason enough.
So we're nearly back to our starting point.
We are surrounded by humanity. Schwong. We are now, Beckster and I, sitting at a cafe very close to the Bulldog.
Yep, round the corner.
Hillary has gone on walkabout for a few. We're sitting down with some coffees. And we have returned from having checked out the park area, having discovered that the social life there is vibrant. So, we have some open conversational threads to complete, my friend.
We do.
One of them is how Hillary was utilized in field over successive nights to advantage.
Yeah.
Let's finish up that thread. Any other little tidbits of why that's advantageous?
Well, basically...
Not a crutch, but advantageous.
You know, I'd go in set. I'd use her in a variety of ways, but one of them was I would go up to a girl and I'd cover my face a bit like peekaboo, as if I'm hiding from someone. I'd get sideways on close to the girl, like I'm about to share a secret with the girl, and because it looks like I'm sharing a secret, the girl leans in and presents her ear to me, and I would
really
say...
close contact.
Yeah, and I would say... That girl over there is following me. And I'd do a little pointy thing.
Hidden behind your hand.
Yeah, behind my
you're
hand,
pointing
pointy.
at that
girl over there. And then she'll look, the blonde one.
Right.
She's following me. And the girl's like, what's going on here? There's
Current
interest.
emotional state.
There's, oh my God, a hot girl's following him.
Instant
There's,
drama.
This guy just has come out of nowhere and started speaking to me,
Exactly.
and he doesn't give a care in the world, really. You know, like,
Right.
I'm in the now.
Yeah.
And, you know, you get, like, why would be the
So
answer.
she was
or-
lovingly
Yeah.
hating it, as she was saying when we didn't have the recording on.
Yeah.
Just so you know, she did enjoy herself.
Yeah.
You know, getting pulled into these sets for a few.
Or the other one was, my friend over there, Hillary, she says you're following me.
Instant trauma. Instant trauma. Well, I lost my hat.
Yeah.
My hat got pulled off my head and was placed on some girl's head who was, you know, it was crowded, so it was too far for even my long arm to reach. It just got pulled from my head and it was away. And I thought, okay, that's lucked in, I'll get to it later. But I lost my hat
Yeah.
to the point where I had given up my bullet hole hat.
Yeah.
And when I was outside, I couldn't help but engage with two people who were seated. And I discovered that one of them knew the girl that you were chatting with. When she came out, I held that conversation until you came out. They were going to leave otherwise. But it was because of you working that set,
Yeah.
and she had introduced me to her two friends, right? That one of the friends had then looked at me and pulled the hat from between her legs. She was sitting on it, basically.
Yeah.
She pulled my hat out and handed it back to me. She
Ta-da.
wasn't going to do it otherwise.
Yeah.
So I got my hat back thanks to you working that set inside. And then you closed it outside.
Yep.
So thanks to me holding that set, because it was crowded inside, you were lost.
Yeah.
Social dynamics, eh? Drama, instant drama.
That was fun, that place. Because I remember doing the thing with Hillary and closing one girl, then going up to the bar, using the second one I just told you, closing another blonde girl, and then you went, merge.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm merging.
Yeah. Well, what I saw was on the left of you was the one target that was in a two set earlier, but she was by herself.
Yeah.
And that's to the left of you. To the right of you was a girl that you were in a previous set.
Yeah.
And was she by herself to begin with?
The blonde one.
Yeah, the one on the right.
She had one friend that kept coming in and out, but was gone for a while.
Fair enough. So they were both at the bar at that time, and you came right in between the two, and that was the perfect time to have a merge take place. Two people that you've worked with for at least 15, 20 minutes each, and had all that laughter, all that investment in you. And so, why not? Let them meet each other. Boom. Did you feel that? Because I was watching it, and I felt that this was going to get good.
Yeah, I felt it. And there was that sort of immediate awkwardness of them meeting, but also then they shake the hands and it's like the haha, nervous laugh. Oh, nice to meet you. I'm blah blah blah. I'm blah blah blah. And then, then they look at you, like meaning me.
Right.
They like, what's going on here? Like, I thought you liked me. So they're like,
Right.
And now there's a new entity in the building.
And you just have a big ass smile on your face. I'm enjoying the now.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the now.
Yeah, I'm soaking up this energy.
That's when you're most happy, when you got girls fighting for you.
Yeah, I like
Right.
it. It happens.
It can happen to you. And it should happen to you. You're supposed to open up more than one set. You're supposed to merge them. Jealousy plotline put into your C1 is necessary for the girl to know you're even attracted to that she's attracted to you in the first place. She doesn't know until jealousy hits.
Merging is one of
And
the...
you close them both. You got
Yeah, exactly. And they're both replying me, like...
Right, it's
I've
on.
not... Yeah, if we decide to go to a social gathering,
tonight, they'll come out.
I'm going to bring them.
Yeah, they met us and knew us enough for sure to feel comfortable to come on out and
Well, it
party
was
with
free
us.
in total. There was the one outside as well that had your hat.
Yeah.
So,
That was a good night for you,
It's good.
right?
It's a good night.
And great for the boys to be able to
Yeah.
watch those sets take
Yeah.
place. And there was lots of time between sets to focus on the boys, get them all pushed into
Oh
set.
yeah, I was
There's
pulling
a-
them in the set.
Yeah, there's a balance that takes place that when you're older and wiser as a pro PUA, there's a balance in everyone getting enough time, At this point, everyone, I feel, all our students got enough time with us to handle their own personal sticking points, to find their plateaus and surpass them by night 2.
Well,
By
on
the
the
end of
first
that
night
night.
we went over 2.5 hours.
Yeah, we go long.
We
It
always go
happens
long.
because once you're here, dude, come on, it's Amsterdam. You're here with us. If you were here with us, sitting at the table right now, we'd be definitely pushing you into sets, right? We would get up. Hillary's on walkabout right now, so we would get up and start working these day game sets.
Indeed.
At least before Hillary gets back. We got 3 minutes.
Go. But
Just
yeah,
teasing Hillary. I love you.
so back to so that was basically how I used Hillary, and I'd also open girls and just have you met Hillary? We said we were both agreed that you had the second best shoes on tonight, and I had to bring Hillary in the set.
Fair enough. Now that takes us to close finally where we began with, opening that single set because you used that on her.
I used that, yeah.
How'd it run? How'd it go?
So instead of saying second best shoes, because it's day game, I didn't want to be as cheeky. I was playing a more rapport-y game. That makes sense. So
Day game,
Yeah, day game. It's day game, right? So it's a bit more relaxed. And
Slower paced.
so I went in, and then as she was saying, I said we agreed that you had the best shoes we've seen all week. We're living here now. We're living here. We love it. And she pointed out, and she gave me the look over, up and down, and she pointed out, oh, your accent, it's from London, right? And I'm like, yeah. She goes, oh, I've just moved back last week from London. I was living there 3 years. It was slightly too busy for me.
That's London.
And crazy. But now I'm back in Amsterdam, and I'm like, yeah, I'm from London. We had a little chat about commonalities of London, which made her feel comfortable. And I mentioned where I was from, Chelsea, which is a bit of a DHV because it's a nice sort of posh area. So I'd be like, yeah, I left my cottage in Chelsea to fly over and spend some weeks, maybe months in Amsterdam. Who knows? I'm loving it now. I've extended my trip, and everybody that I've met has been beautiful and lovely, which again I would consider that another
That's
DHV.
amazing. That's just chock full of DHVs that are damn near subliminal.
Yep.
And ultimately saying that you're in a good current emotional state, that you don't need anything, that you're surrounded by beauty, you're accustomed to it, and you had the courage to, not courage, just you're centered enough to see beauty and go talk to her.
Yep. And I said, we're just meeting people. We have now know lots of people here,
Right.
but we're still meeting the coolest cats in town. and she's smiling. She's now mirroring me, leaning in on the pole where I've locked in, or
Right.
the gate, as it were. And she's not running off to that appointment that she was so much in a hurry for earlier.
Right. Now we're like 4
And-
minutes in.
Yeah. And I was like, so what are some good places to see in town, to say something normal? Because we've been stuck enjoying the centre of town so much, we haven't even had time to venture out. So what, in your opinion, would be your best place to go?
Right.
And so I threw it back on her, and she was like, oh yeah, the old town is really cool. And I was like, I love old towns, because you really see the first start of that city, and now obviously there's always a new town,
Right.
and we're experiencing the new town now. And she's like, you know what, if you take my number, I can show you around it, I can give you any advice you want. And I'm like, cool, you got WhatsApp? And she closed me, basically.
Yeah. And your demeanor was just
And she was under a time
Manly.
constraint as well,
right.
because she had to go to that appointment, even though she allowed me the 4 to 6 minutes
Right.
of being in set.
Yeah, it was around 7 minutes. I feel it was under 10. It was at least, it was 7, 8 minutes
Was
long.
it?
Yeah, you were in there for a while.
Yeah.
And that, which is perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's short.
Time disappears when you're in
Right.
set, I find.
It's short. Longer than 3 minutes to phone number. you know.
yeah.
But actual exchange, and we know it was a good number. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Well, she's replied loads,
exactly.
and we've been chatting.
Exactly. So, how did you feel when you exchanged contact info? And you said, what did you say to say goodbye?
Well, I said, I'm in a rush. You look like you're in a rush.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna, even though she didn't really, but I could tell she had to get to that meeting.
Pacing reality,
yeah.
though. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you should definitely hang out with us. And she was like, yep, I want to do that.
Yeah.
She was, I can forget the exact wording, but she was like, in.
She mirrored you. She indulged in a 7-minute conversation. It was on. It was on, dude.
And then I just said,
When you exchanged contact information,
yeah.
what I recommend is going longer. Don't just exchange and go.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
then it feels pickup-y.
Yeah. No, there was a little chat after
What
that.
was
yeah.
that chat?
That chat was basically, that was the part when it was like, hey, you should join us on a night out.
Right.
And we talked a little bit more about Amsterdam. I kept threading back to London, cool things and places I've been in London. Has she experienced that yet? And she was like, oh yeah, I've been to that place, the Millennium Eye and certain nightclubs like the Box and
Right.
so on. So she's done the
So
party
you're-
life
and
in
you're,
London.
and you're bringing her mind to places in her memory that are awesome.
Yeah, where she's
Right?
had fun.
And you're just bringing up all those shared commonalities of these spaces that are existing in her memories that also
Have you
exist
finished?
in your memories as well. I'm still drinking my coffee.
Thank you.
Last little bit to go, and then we'll
Yeah.
boogie. Okay, so
Sorry,
You
the waitress came and wanted to steal our cups.
so you left saying what? What was the last words you said?
So,
to her?
so as she walked up the stairs, she was looking down at me, big smile on her face.
Big
I
smile.
said bye. I
Saw.
gave a kiss, cheek, cheek. So I got in there, and as she walked up the stairs to the building she was going for, these stairs
Yeah.
are out on the street, so it's not like she's going into
Yeah.
a building going up the stairs. She can see me as she's walking up the stairs. I'm talking over my shoulder like, we're
About
seeing you
to-
soon.
you're about
yeah.
to leave
Yeah.
as you talk.
And I'm walking back to my friends, which was obviously you and Hillary.
That's right. And we
And
see you walking back. And as you're
And I-
walking back, what are you
I
thinking?
I just shout, it's been emotional, don't change.
Yeah, it's been emotional. And that's so lighthearted,
Yeah.
right? And great.
Yeah.
Absolutely great.
There's a bit in the middle that I
Big
actually I
cheeky
forgot.
smile.
Yeah. We talked about the shoes. And I said, where are they from? She said they're Jimmy Choos, which,
Right.
if any of you know, you should know this name. They're ultra designer shoes. So she was really proud that I noticed her shoes.
Fair.
And then I said, my friend, she opened stores going around opening the new Jimmy Choo store in any town. So that's a little DHV that
Yeah,
the
pretty-
woman that's doing that must be a fucking real catch. You
Fair.
know? And
My thought is, in her busy life, you brightened her day.
yeah.
You know? Yeah. It's been emotional.
don't change. And she laughed and giggled as she walked in the
Exactly.
door, and she began into that meeting on a good energy,
Fair,
I think.
very fair. Exactly. She just
Or a modelling job or
just
whatever she was
met
going
a man,
to meet.
had an exchange. It was so smooth and comfortable, and then she went in, and we saw her go up to the door, and we waited.
And she
by that
checked
point,
out you two.
That's right.
'cause
Exactly.
She's seeing who I'm with.
Yeah.
I'm not like.
We're eating noodles, so we look like we're busy.
Yeah, and I stroll back
we were
very,
waiting.
very nonchalant. Is the
Exactly.
word?
You
Yeah.
just came back like it
not
was
like.
normal.
Yeah, I got a number.
Exactly. Exactly. It's absolutely normal for your high-valued friends to go run off and shoot the shit with someone. If you're seated and just talking to everybody, let them chat for a bit, do a phone number exchange. It's up to them. They come back. Don't high-five them. They make fun of that. They make a parody of that in the TV show Mixology,
Yeah.
where the guy gets a phone number and comes back and they're hugging, and that's a parody. We could get away with that. We could do that. Not on that single
and
set.
look at the girl and hugging. Yeah.
Right? It's like, we got her number, yay! Overdo it, right? It's hilarious. But no, that wasn't needed
But I
at
just
that
walked
point.
back. We all nodded at each other, smiled, and you carried on talking to Hillary, and I just grabbed my food that was still by the canal,
Right.
sat down, and just took a big bite
Right.
of noodles and pork.
Exactly.
And she,
Like, life was good.
She checked out that we were all normal by it all,
That's
and
it.
she
But
went into the
important.
building.
Important.
Yeah, important, and she was gone, and that
So-
was it.
What some pickup artists do is, right? I mean, they get the contact, but then they return to their group of guys, right, and make a show of it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Not good. And tell your wingmen before you go into a set is just fucking be cool. Don't wreck my set. There's
and-
room at the top for everyone. Everyone gets a
because it
girl.
shows lower value that you don't pull this off every day, like, and also when you're getting the contact detail, don't stare at the phone in silence, watching her put the number in.
It's like
look away and
it's
start talking
incidental.
about something else.
It's something she has to work on while you're still in conversation.
yeah. That was it. And I was
It
just
was-
like, as she was putting the number in, I was just like, I just could sit and watch these boats go by all day.
How was looking at her face? You've interfaced
Yeah.
close proximity like this with a lot of people over the last few days.
Yep.
I mean, the last few months.
Yeah. Like the two 18-year-old Swedish girls, one on each arm, following us everywhere.
Crazy. A little too young.
18, bit young.
Right? A little too, yeah.
So I didn't close.
Not a little too
I didn't
young.
want to close.
But wonderful to drag him around in the safety with Hillary,
Yep.
the safety of others, for a spell.
Yeah.
That was absolutely fabulous. And they were giggling like
as
little schoolgirls
social
at you,
proof, yeah.
And it was social proof to get into the next club that we got in.
Yeah, we're
Right.
going to the top nightclub here. Didn't we?
Exactly.
Jimmy Woo's.
So no, that's all prim and proper. You don't have to close everybody, but you can definitely hang out with them.
Yeah.
And it may lead to a close.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, they were definitely good for the 21-year-old student.
Exactly. We were able to.
So, I was
to
just using them
introduce-
as arm candy
Right.
and fun times.
Exactly, but ultimately we were able to introduce those girls to some of the students
Yep.
without ever telling anybody they were students.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
never, ever have to do that.
Yeah.
The only person who would know if you're taking a boot camp with us that you're a student would be Hillary,
Yeah.
my girlfriend. She's in the know.
She's there to help.
No need to ask her for advice in field because she's not up to speed in terms of
Everything.
the code.
Yeah.
The codification, being able to take what we know about the infield
Yeah.
world and turn it into words that can be, uploaded into your head so that you can actually use that successfully to help you navigate the complex reality of these social scenarios. How to harness the night instead of just coming out here and being a lonely gawker. You could be a lonely gawker if you don't proactively decide to step up and game and open. And you did that, brother.
Yeah.
You just saw the set, boom, 2 seconds, less than 3. It was on, in, locked in. You went in, ran the set, like a fucking pro, solid day game. Closed it, talked a little bit more, left pleasurably, came back, social value high, uploaded in her head from a distance even.
Yep.
Sat down, joined us. And how did you feel at that moment as you ate your noodles again?
I would say the moral of the story is that changed my state for the rest of the day. From being ultra crappy low, haven't felt that way in a very long time, and not even wanting to open, and that is something I haven't felt in a very long time, and just coming back going, right, next set, happy, vibrant, weight has been lifted, the depression has passed,
Right?
the future is golden,
Yes.
the world is in my hands. That's how I felt. Totally flipped the script.
Even now,
Yeah.
as a pro PUA,
Yeah.
there were loads of sets, and you enjoyed loads of sets during boot camp weekend, but we had been, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm going to look for a kind word. Derailed by boot camp from pulling certain sets right back to where we're living downtown with the safety of having Hillary there, female security there, right?
Yeah.
Open window to the cobblestone, not busy, but busy enough that it feels like,
Yeah.
they're still where they, they're still there.
Yeah.
It's still downtown,
Exactly.
safe,
Yeah.
still public. And they could come up to where we had done our boot camp in that lovely room, right, on the 3rd floor.
Yep.
And we could have just played music and enjoyed that, right?
Yeah, that's
Could
how-
even have pulled a couple of the students back with us, but we didn't because we were locked into these sets late at night. In other words, the boot camp gets in the way.
Yeah.
What are you paying for, right? What does the student pay for when they take a boot camp? Sincerely, they pay for the pickup artist not to go home with those girls.
Yeah.
Because it is so on when you're a pro PUA, you decide to open sets. The first set may not hook, the second set may not hook, but if you do a dozen sets in a night, at some point, and there could be 40, 50 that are approachable sets within an hour in one club.
So you as a student, yeah.
So you as a student should be pushing, we're pushing you into opening sets.
Yeah.
You do that many sets, and you get critique after each and every set. Or at least 3 sets. I watch 3 sets to see a pattern at the first.
You can get a pattern out,
right?
Free, yeah.
And then critique, and the next 3 sets just are accelerated better. You just get it, because you will be merging forward, backwards, you will be locking in, all the basics that are necessary to solid, structured game where you can actually get the girl with such consistency that it feels like, I'm glad Hillary's not here for this right now, it feels like a fucking superpower.
Yeah. It is a superpower.
You have a superpower. It's 1 set on every time.
Yeah.
It's just that's solid game.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about in Cold Approach Pickup, is building a solid game, a solid structure. If you know any of the PUA people, the PUA gurus in this community, if I can evoke the spirit of Arash,
Yeah.
right?
Good mental state.
A good mental state. Become solid gamers. Solid. Know the structure. You can let go of the structure later and just follow what feels right to building that drama that's necessary from meat to sex.
Yeah.
It's an art form to keep things busy, For instance, we should be wrapping up soon. We'll rejoin Hillary. I'm sure she ran off to a grocery store
Yeah.
to grab some bananas because she's vegan. Right. Alexander, mad respect, props if you're listening.
One of our students.
One of our students. This man is an up-and-comer. no doubt. However, our focus in this boot camp is on pickup, not mid-game. And he had, on more than one occasion, pulled girls. Now, he did have a make-out, right?
Yeah.
But at one time, he was on a C2. He was in mid-game, having pulled the girls out of one venue and dragged them to another and another, right? We were doing multiple venue loops.
Yeah.
Builds comfort. Later on, when the girl's in bed with you, she'll think to herself, do I really know this guy? And she'll be flooded with more memories if you have spent the time with her in several different locations than if you just spend all that time in one location. Well, we had bounced to another location, and he had these two girls with him, joining him, compliant to him, and wasn't holding the set. It was getting boring.
Stale.
You never steal out your sets. You never get them, on day 2. You're still entertaining them.
Yeah.
What advice would you have for him? Now, we did give him the critique, right, afterwards. But he ultimately lost that set, because it grew bored. He has the contact info still.
Yes.
Still pending, but you still have more work to do in mid-game, right? What advice would you have for
I mean, there's
our good friend
a
Alexander?
bundle of advice, but if we're going to just give him a few quick pointers that are vital.
Grounding sequence.
Yeah.
Research it. Keywords.
Grounding sequence, indeed. I would say totally has to keep the vibe fun, playful, and you need to be keeping the environment new. So we venue changed maybe 9 times within 4 hours or 5 hours of knowing the girls.
And when you have girls in your arms, as you go from place to place, you become the little superstars on your entryway.
Exactly.
And you're making them laugh on the end. So we come in boisterous and big and
we
happy.
walk in as the stars, the entourage, the crew, the A-team. That's what we do. People look. The big muscly guy moves to the side as you pass by with girls in your arms.
And a smile on your face. Current emotional state. Open set's a lot easier, my friends. You could still be badass like Joe Pesci, but it's your birthday.
And yeah, I mean, he ran out of material as well. I think he was relying a lot on certain gambits where he needed to learn to feed off hooks, play along with what their feedback was. Like, so, you say something, they say something, how can we play with what they've returned in the conversation?
You know what I think Alexander didn't realize would happen?
What?
When you get this structure down and you know enough material to meet the objective of each phase, you get it down, it's super consistent and fast, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
once you get it, you get it.
Once you get it, you get it. And he's already got it, and now he doesn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, he's like, oh, wow.
It's like, oh my God, that's attraction. I mean, he's got compliance, he's got attraction, right? He's got trust established.
It's like Cyclops out of the X-Men. He gets the eye power, and it's just beaming everywhere, and it's destroying everything. And he needs to learn to wield the glasses.
Put the glasses back on, my friend, because when you take them off, you're
Hell
going to
breaks
charm the pants off of the women you meet. Remember your smile, son. Smile on the end. Current emotional state. It hits really, really well.
Learn to wield your power.
If you're walking down the street and it's not smiling back at you, smile.
Or a better analogy would be when Spider-Man wakes up the next day and all of a sudden he looks at his body and he's like, wow. And then he sort of sticks to a wall. His hand won't come off the wall.
That's Alexander.
Yeah. And then it's like, shit, I got to learn how to use my superpowers.
That's exactly it.
And as Spider-Man
That's
says,
exactly it. It's like learning cold approach pickup specifically, learning that hard game, right? Because it's a hard game, but it can become super fun. You merge groups, right? so many ways to. There's so many techniques. We demo it in field live, right? You have the superpower in pickup. That's the focus of Cold Approach. Then, mid-game is about how to harness that attraction, right?
Yep.
To build enough comfort to handle the logistics to get into an isolated moment where you can have mutual seduction,
Yep.
right?
Agreed.
So this coming weekend, next weekend, it's the 17th of July, we have a place downtown here. We can do seminar in the daytime, 9 students, plus us, a few coaches. You'll meet some amazing people, guaranteed. We are amazing. We have interacted with others that we will introduce you to. People who are amazing and can introduce you to women. Over 3 days, we're going to find adventure. Adventures around us now. You are guaranteed missing out. We have just taken a pause for the last couple hours to go on a little walkabout. I see that too.
Great set over there.
There is a beautiful girl right there. She's on the phone, walking. Look at that.
Yeah, that's good.
Is that a set that you would be willing to
Yeah, let's
do?
wrap this up and I can do that set.
Exactly. Okay, well, she's out of the car
I'm-
and walking there, so she's here now.
She's here. She's at that coffee shop over there.
Fair. So to wrap up, what did we learn? We
So-
learned about wing women.
Yep.
We learned about the
Use it.
value of Cold Approach pickup
Yep.
and the fun that you can have from it. We learned about Amsterdam in particular as a venue to experience. Wow, another one.
Yeah.
Boom.
Boom, yeah. They're everywhere here.
Jesus Christ. Why is anyone
Where
not working that set?
Where are the students? Right. We learn how to DHV, how to social proof. We've learned some things you can say on the in.
We've zoomed into the minds of 2 pickup artists,
Yep.
right?
Yep, definitely. How you can flip your state immediately. Why merging is important. Why jealousy is powerful. God, I bet there's a load more, but
Right.
we've been talking for 2 hours now.
Right. If you have an iPhone or equivalent in your back pocket, you are carrying the book of everything. Just respect that we are geek. I'm not a geek. I am geek. And quite likely, if you're hearing this little Amsterdam podcast, you are geek too. So let's stay smart. Come to Amsterdam. Like-minded individuals. Systematic. Logical. Visceral. And for now, I'm Mystery.
I'm Beckster, and I would like to leave you one thing. As we were talking about Spider-Man, remember, when you get the power, with great power comes great responsibility. Mystery and Beckster, we are in Amsterdam. It's time to get damned with us. It's going to be mind-blowing. It's going to be epic. But most of all, you will find yourselves. Come next weekend and be damned with us. You'll be damned if you don't.